Good evening everyone, thanks for tuning into Tokyo this evening. My name is T. So this is the video I mentioned on Instagram a few days ago. This is going to be my favorite yo-yos of 2017. The top 3 are ones that are already set in stone. Those are the ones I always come back to all the time. But the other 7 are ones that I kind of go back and forth on. They kind of go up and down through the list, so it's not really in any particular order. And also, you know how it is with yo-yos. Sometimes our likes sort of fluctuate and we kind of change our opinions. So if I've said before in a previous video that I really liked a yo-yo or I really thought it was really great, you know how our preferences tend to change. So if you're surprised or you're shocked that the one I've mentioned before didn't make it into the top 10, keep in mind these are the yo-yos that I've always gone back to over and over the entire year. From 10 to 7, no particular order, and then my top 3 I'll put at the very end. This is my top 10 yo-yos of 2017. First, one of my favorite 10 yo-yos I want to mention is the One Drop Mantis. This thing is awesome. It was a limited run by One Drop, a blind box, so you didn't know which color you were going to get when you bought it. I ended up getting the light red. I really like this yo-yo. It's a bit on the narrow side, very bulbous, very rounded off corners. Really fun little yo-yo. I recommend checking it out if you get a chance. They're a little bit hard to find right now, but I'm sure if you check the BST, if you keep an eye on it, you'll eventually find one in the color that you like. The next yo-yo I want to mention is the Yoyo Empire BOREAS Pro. This is a really cool polycarbonate machined yo-yo with steel weight rings inside each of the cups to give it more spin time and stability. It's also got that Yoyo Empire bucket or crate or whatever you want to call that for finger spins. This is a really fun yo-yo. I constantly come back to this thing. It's just a lot of fun to throw, a lot of fun to play. There's a BOREAS Pro 2 out that has the different finger spin catch zone, but I really like this one. Presents a bit of a challenge. It's a little bit harder for you to hit. So this is one I definitely recommend you check out. It's on the cheap side too. The next yo-yo I'm going to mention is the Magic Yo-Yo Y01 Node. This thing is really cool. It's got practically the same specs as the N12 Shark Honor, but it's quite updated. You've got the really cool competition shape. You've got beautiful anodization, and it's still right around the same price. I got this for around 20 bucks. I believe I got it on eBay. It took about a month to arrive from China, but I think that's kind of the only way to get it. I'm not sure if there's easier ways to get it now. But this is a definite must-have, I feel like, especially for someone who wants a really good yo-yo for a cheaper price. It's real smooth. Like I said, if you like the N12, this is pretty much a no-brainer. You got to pick this thing up. The next yo-yo I'm going to mention here is the One Drop Top Deck, another One Drop in the lineup here. This is a really incredible yo-yo, 7075 aluminum, really high quality, very durable, in a really neat shape. Because of the 7075, you can kind of distribute the weight in different interesting ways. It's very bell-shaped. It's just really cool. It has that really nice sound to it, and when it's spinning too, it resonates in this really cool way. Some yo-yos just do that, the way they're shaped. The Aviator 2 is another one that just rings when you throw it. I can definitely recommend the Top Deck. A lot of people were recommending this for a long time on the subreddit. That was the only thing you'd see recommended for a long time, and for good reason. The only thing that would make people maybe not want to pick this up is the price. It is quite high priced, but I feel like it's worth it, and I've come back to it over and over and time again. Next up, we've got my favorite plastic ever. This is the Yoyo Empire NOTUS. Really cool organic shaped yo-yo, practically egg shaped. You've got a finger spin catch zone in here that's really cool. Very nicely balanced, very nicely shaped, extremely comfortable, and it comes in at 20 bucks. You just can't beat this thing. It's a really cool yo-yo for an incredibly cheap price. They have this, and then there's 3 other shapes as well in this kind of series that have the same finger spin catch zone and the similar specs but quite wildly different shapes. But this thing is great. This is pretty much my favorite plastic ever. If you ask me to pick one plastic in my collection that I absolutely love the most, a straight plastic, it's this one. Next up is the IYOYO ICEBERG. This is all the rage right now. Everybody's loving this thing, and for good reason. Polycarbonate body, stainless steel rings, finger spin catch zone. Because of the weight differential between the two materials, the spin and stability on this thing, it makes it a complete beast. It's really awesome. The only thing that keeps it out of the top 3 for me is that it was pretty expensive in Japan, but if you live in another country besides Japan, it's a lot cheaper, so it's definitely a must-have for most people. This is just a great yo-yo, and there's no reason you shouldn't have it in your collection. Next up, we've got the OC, the R Throwers and G Squared collaboration project. This came out of a series of votes that were put up on Reddit. Users were allowed to vote on things like the shape, the ano, where it was made, things like that, the design aspects of it. So it's a really cool project that came out of collaboration between the community and Jacob Gross of G Squared. Also, I'm pretty sure that Alpha, team member of G Squared, had a hand in really putting a lot of the design aspect in, plus our own Toilet Circle, Backpack Jenkins, also did, handled all the voting and everything. So it's really cool how this project turned out. This is an incredible yo-yo. It's definitely one of my top favorites of all time. The only reason I don't have it in my top 3 is because I feel like if people weren't part of the voting process, or if they weren't around when these were being available for pre-order, then maybe they would have missed out. So it's not something you can really get your hands on easily unless someone's looking to sell. But if you were part of this project, definitely I think this is one of my top 3. I absolutely love this thing. Great response, an organic feel in the hand, super well playing though. Crazy long spins, crazy stability for being this kind of weird egg shape. It's on the wide side too, especially if you compare it to something like the ICEBERG here. You can see it's quite a bit wider. So it's a really, really fun yo-yo that I think came out great despite the fact that it had a lot of people involved with the decision making. So really cool yo-yo. All right, now we're down to my top 3 favorites, so let's get right into them. First of all, this one may surprise some people because it flew under a lot of people's radar, and I don't think that's fair. I think a lot more people need to show this yo-yo some love. One of my top 3 favorites of the year was the DUNCAN MKT. This thing is really cool. It's a little bit on the smaller side. It's narrow, but it's got this great shape to it. Sorry, I got a lot of dings on it, scraped on the ground. But it's got this really cool cup in here. There's a lot of rings on the outside. There's a place for thumb grinds. It spins like crazy. It's really, really quiet. The response on this is so snappy. It's probably my number 2 favorite response of any yo-yo I own. Way more people need to show this yo-yo some love. Chris Makita's an awesome player. He's got a really cool, chill, laid-back style, lots of slacks and whips. Really, really fun to watch, and this yo-yo is just awesome, so go get you one. If you guys know me well, you know I'm a big IYOYO fan. Another one of my top 3 yo-yos of all time, especially for 2017, but definitely for all time, is the VERITAS Pro. 6061 body, 7075 rings, and the polycarbonate fingerspin catch zone in here. It's got tons of style. It is really comfortable despite being a V and an undersized yo-yo. Just tons of fun. The designer, Matilde Witt, is a really, really cool student in Germany, so this thing is just great. You need to go get yourself this yo-yo. It's super, super fun. And my son actually took my number 1 yo-yo just a moment. If you know anything about Tokyo-Yo or my channel, you're going to know my favorite yo-yo of all time. Still, the CARPFIN by Magic Yo-Yo. Designed by Yixing Tan. This is a really, really cool yo-yo. They're calling it a V-shape, but I've always thought it's more of an O. It's really, really organic. It's got this fingerspin catch zone in here. It's just glossy inside. It's got this really matte finish in here that's great for grinds. It's got all these cool grooves. It spins forever. It's extremely stable. And it's got an incredible response. I've been playing this thing for a really long time now, and the response is still super, super snappy, but never snaggy. It's just such a reliable yo-yo. It's so fun. I love this colorway. It hasn't been available for a long time, so I wonder if it was like super limited or something, but I'm really glad that I was able to get in on this early kind of galaxy, crazy looking colorway. This is an awesome yo-yo, and it's coming out in more colors, and there's going to be an SE version soon, which a lot of the money for that is going to go to charity. So you should definitely pick you up a CARPFIN if you get a chance. This thing is amazing. Go Scale Buds. So now I'm going to get into a few yo-yos that I really, really enjoyed, some honorable mentions, ones that I didn't play all year, but ones that I still really enjoyed and I still pick up from time to time that are kind of just above my top favorites. So let's get into those. In no particular order, let's start with the Benchmark H. Really love this thing. Love to play this thing light. Right now I've got the, what are these, the Markmonts in here. Markmont Aluminums. Keeps this thing light. I think it plays really, really well light. Another one drop I really enjoyed ever since it's come out was the One Drop Prescription. I really like this thing. Jonathan Best is my favorite player, and I think this thing plays wonderfully to his specifications. I actually feel like this one plays a little bit heavier, which surprised me. I didn't think that at first, but the more I play with it, the more I like having some heavier side effects in it. Next up, this is the Yo-Yo Empire EURUS. I haven't put out a review of this yet, but it will be coming soon. This is another Delrin like the NOTUS, and it's really cool. It's a really neat H shape. It's a really extreme H shape. Really good for finger grinds, really good for finger spins. I just adore this yo-yo. Kind of like the NOTUS, it's really, really cheap. It plays crazy, and it's super smooth for its price. Another Yo-Yo Empire here. You guys know I love this, the Yo-Yo Empire Big Bang. This thing is enormous. It's silly. Like compared to the EURUS here, look, another yo-yo can fit inside of it. that's just, it's silly how big this thing is, but it's so fun, and it's got the same finger spin crater that a lot of the yo-yo empires have. Love this thing, and this is the yo-yo that started my channel. This was my first review that I ever did. Oh, that review is really bad. This is a yo-yo that I've come back to a lot recently. This is the Magic Yo-Yo Magical. This is I think this is the M05 if I'm not mistaken. Really cool galaxy colorway. This is a bimetal with the metal ring inset here. A lot of yo-yos are doing that now. Actually, this thing had a really slippery response, so I put in some joker pads, and now it plays beautifully with the Bushido Baby added on. So this is a really fun yo-yo. It still plays pretty good. Not as smooth as when I first got it, because I've kind of messed around with the bearing and stuff, but it still plays great. Next up, I talked a lot about this. This is another one actually with the bimetal ring on the inside of the cup. This is the Duncan, yes sir. This is the Duncan Grasshopper X. Absolutely love this thing. It's a little bit on the lighter side. I think it's around 60. It's around 63 grams or something like that. But it is a really fun yo-yo. Plays really well, got a really nice response, and I love the colorway on this. It's pretty much the epitome of what a bimetal should be. And the last honorable mention I've got here, this yo-yo I just received recently from Yoyo Store Rewind. There'll be a review on their channel soon. This is the ND Ultra from YOYOFACTORY. This thing is really fun. The reason I mention this now in the honorable mentions is because I'm not sure if it's my favorite yet, but I have a very strong feeling that this is going to be one of my favorite yo-yos of the next year coming up. Maybe if I'd gotten this earlier, I think it might have been one of my favorite yo-yos. There's not a single sharp corner on this thing. It's just really elegant and really well designed. I love this shape, so expect to hear a lot of good things about this yo-yo from me in the near future. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Well, it's evening for me. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave me a like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if there's any yo-yos you think I should check out for next year. I'm pretty sure this is going to be my last video of the year, so if I don't see you guys till 2018, hope you had a really awesome holiday season. Hope you're looking forward to 2018. Let's make it an even better year than we had last time. And yeah, see you guys soon. Take care. Have a nice rest of 2017, and sayonara.